Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our discussion about the factor label method, or a way to convert between units. So this is going to be our introduction to a very mathy unit for chemistry. And before we jump into doing chemistry-based conversions, we want to take a little time to talk about a strategy or math approach to being able to convert between different units of measurement. So the first thing I'd like us to talk about today is something called a conversion factor. So if you have downloaded the notes sheet or worksheet that we worked on, this correlates to it, but there's nothing wrong with kind of doing it alongside. So a conversion factor is something that shows a relationship between two different measurements or units that are that equal the same amount. So really good example of that: 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. They both represent the same quantity, but reported in different units of measurement. When we measure things, we're typically going to choose a unit that's appropriate for the quantity we're dealing with. But every time that we do a calculation, we may not always be presented in that correct or accurate unit. So things to look for that might indicate to you that you're dealing with a conversion factor would be ratios. If you see something per something else in a description, something equaling something else, seeing the division bar, seeing the ratio symbol, all of those can be clues that the data you're looking at could be a conversion factor. So if you look at the examples box, everything in that box is equal. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, and 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. I want you to compare that to the non-examples. The number 5 is just a number. There's no unit, there's no equivalence, so it can't work as a conversion factor. There's no way to use that data to get from one unit to another. 4 to 10 is a ratio, but because there's no units involved, there's no way for us to recognize what units I can convert between. What are those ratios between? 5.3 does have a unit, but it's not equal to anything. It's just a measurement or a value. That might be something we start with that we want to convert, but it is not a conversion factor. The problem with this one is nothing because I tried to make it wrong and I didn't. So to make it wrong, let's say 100 centimeters to 10 meters. The problem with something like this is that it's not correct. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So if we say 100 centimeters to 10 meters, it's an incorrect equality. They're not equal. So what do some problems look like that require you to do some converting? I know this looks really busy, but we're going to take it step by step. So when we problem solve, one of the big things we want to use is annotations. So I want you to think about your analyze the prompt strategy. We are using our science version of that. So you'll see circle the directive verb, underline what it asks us to do, and in our strategy, we're going to be very specific about boxing the desired unit, and I'm going to say we're going to actually star that, and we're going to just box the given value, because you often will have many things, and we want to star and emphasize the desired unit. So let's take a read through this problem in bold. The distance from the sun to Earth is 9.3 times 10 to the 7th miles. That's a piece of data. We're going to box it. Okay. Determine, that's one of our directive verbs. Determine what? How many minutes it takes. So minutes is what we're solving for. Light from the sun to reach the Earth. The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. And there are 1609 meters in 1 mile. That is one set of data altogether. So now we want to look at the problem and figure out where am I starting, what's my given value, and what am I trying to get to. So I'm going to identify my beginning unit. That would be the number of miles from the sun to Earth. So our first unit is in miles. Okay, right now I'm making a plan. Then we want to end up with something. We want to end up in minutes. So we want to determine what data do I have that can get me from miles to minutes, and I can either work backwards or forwards. So I'm in miles. Let's look and see if there's some data that connects to miles. At the end of the problem, it tells me how many meters are in 1 mile. So I can convert from miles to meters. Hopefully that's going to get me closer to minutes. Then I look at my data. I'm in meters, and I have a conversion factor that gets me from meters to seconds. Well, that's helpful because that is a unit of time. Now, the question doesn't have a conversion factor to get from seconds to minutes, but from our background knowledge, hopefully we know that there are 60 seconds for every 1 minute. So this will allow me to get from miles to minutes in 3 changes. So that means I'm going to need 3 conversion factors. So when you make a plan like this, you will know that every arrow, every conversion factor will help you get to your end, and that's how many conversion factors you're going to need. So now the last step is to solve the problem. So I left the problem up here. I'll just quickly annotate. So that we have that visible. So it says we start with the unit from 3A, and I include the number associated with it. So this is where I'm going to put my 9.3 times 10 to the 7th miles. Okay. Then I fill in the rest of the setup with conversion factors and numbers until I get to the unit I need. Now, the way I'm going to choose them is I'm going to take advantage of a law in math that when something is divided by itself, it cancels out. So right now, you could think of this as like over 1 if I have a fraction bar there. So I need to put miles on the bottom so that it cancels out when I use the conversion factor. From our data, it says that for every 1 mile, there are 1609 meters. So what I've done is I've just canceled out miles because miles divided by miles equals 1. So I can essentially take them out of the calculation. So now I'm in meters and I want to get to seconds. So I'm going to use the 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. The meter part has to go on the bottom. Okay, that's going to cancel out the meters, 1 on top, 1 on bottom, leave me in seconds. I'm almost done. And then I am going to use my 1 minute for every 60 seconds. That cancels out seconds, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. So now all I have to do is put it in the calculator and solve. So what do you enter, you might ask? So first I'm going to start by typing in 9.3 times 10 to the 7th. Then I'm going to multiply by the 1609. Then I'm going to divide by the 3 times 10 to the 8th because it's on the bottom of the fraction bar. Okay. And then I'm going to divide by 60. That is the quickest and simplest way to enter that into the calculator. And if you have done your order of operations correctly and used parentheses if needed for PEMDAS, your answer is correct if you get 8.313 minutes. Okay. Now we're not going to worry exactly about how many decimal places. As long as your answer is close to mine, you probably did it correctly. All right, so we're going to finish up with one more sample problem. So this one in the past has been a little bit tricky. That's why this is the one that I picked to do together, mainly just because there's so many conversion factors in it. So a unit of length called the furlong is used in horse racing. The units of length called the chain and the link are used in surveying. There are 8 furlongs in 1 mile. That's a piece of data. There are 10 chains in 1 furlong and 100 links in 1 chain. To 3 significant figures, we're just going to cross that part out, don't worry about that. Calculate the length of 1 link in inches. So inches is what I'm solving for. I'm going to make my plan. And I'm starting in links. So before I'm going to try to solve anything, I'm going to make my plan. Okay. Notice that we also have some additional data down here in the form of conversion factors that we can use. So from link, I can get to chains. Okay, so link will get me to chain. From chains, I can get to furlongs. Let's look for where furlongs. Looks like that connects up to a mile. Then mile gets me to feet. Okay. And foot will get me to inches. So I can do this conversion in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. This is going to be big, but these are more complicated actually than the chemistry ones we're going to do. So I'm going to start with my 1 link. Okay. Then I'm going to find my chain conversion. It says there is 1 chain for 100 links. Notice I'm including my labels and showing all my work. Okay, that cancels out links. Then there is 1 furlong to 10 chains. That cancels out chains. And then I'm going to miles. There are 8 furlongs on the bottom because I want to cancel that to 1 mile. Then there is 1 mile on the bottom to cancel to 5,280 feet. Okay. That cancels mile. And then there are 12 inches in 1 foot. That cancels feet. So the only unit left is inches, and that is what I wanted to solve for. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 100 divided by 10 divided by 8 times 5,280 times 12. And that should give us a final answer of 7.92 inches. So the process here is all about canceling units. I chose which way to set up the conversion factor based on what I wanted to cancel. If I was going the other direction and I wanted to go from chains to links, I would flip it upside down. So the benefit of converting is it's really about taking the data you have and making a plan. There are 3 more practice problems on your worksheet. You should complete those on paper or digitally and then submit that to the assignment post.